Running a small business means a lot of late nights, and at Remarkable Vets, Jeff is burning the midnight oil.
It's 11 o'clock on a Monday night and I'm here the day before my PAYE payments are due. But my mind's about to be taken off it because we have a dog coming in. It sounds like potentially serious tummy problems. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to expect. I'm either going to be out of here by about 11:30 or about 2:30.
Jimmy arrives shortly after 11 and is very concerned about the state of his trusty old dog, Ike.
But he sort of gingerly lies down, so we're just not comfortable.
Okay.
Ike's in a lot of pain and Jimmy doesn't know what's wrong with him.
So I think it's unlikely that he's got a foreign body in there. Okay. A little bit concerned about his behind and just his movement there and just whether he may have done something which is causing him some discomfort there and means he can't settle properly.
Jeff also rules out a potentially fatal stomach condition.
I'm actually going to give him some pain relief for tonight, some anti-inflammatory medication, and we're going to send him home and see what happens over the next 12 hours. See how he goes through the night. We should talk first thing in the morning and just see. Feel free to offer him some breakfast, that's fine. If he's looking for it, that's even better.
Gingerly, Ike heads home for the night, but that only means one thing for Jeff.
Yeah, I've got to sort this tax out now. It's now the day it's due.
From farms and fields to the high country stations, inspections, detections and examinations, and highly hygienic inseminations. He's a remarkable vet. He's got stuff for your puppies, for sheep and for pets, 'cause he's a remarkable vet.
So your head was stuck through the...
Locals Kay and Peter thought they were just taking Connor's new baby rabbit Pebbles to the vet for a checkup, but the family Moggy Walnut came along too.
Right, okay. So the exhaust, there's no way she could have fallen onto the exhaust and got herself back up where she was? Yeah.
To the family's horror, Walnut was hiding in the engine of the car and was trapped there for the first few minutes of their trip. She has several large burns on her back and neck and has also broken 2 of her teeth.
She looks so well.
What she's been through.
Oh, I'm glad she can't speak.
Yeah.
Walnut will spend the next few days at the clinic resting. Jeff now turns his attention to Pebbles. It's difficult to tell if rabbits are girls or boys, and Pebbles is the family's first bunny. They need Jeff to answer the big question for them.
I believe we can stay as Pebbles.
There you go, it's Pebbles.
Pebbles, the girl, can keep her name, and Kay will come back tomorrow to check on Walnut.
Okay.
One animal that Jeff is anxious to hear about is last night's visitor, Ike.
Great, so that's Ike. He bounced back very well after the injection we gave him last night, which makes me think that in all likelihood his whole problem is probably joint related rather than liver or tummy related, which is very in keeping with what some of the things we found last night. So all good news.
Over the weekend, 2 wild cats have been brought into the clinic with 7 young kittens between them. It's Alicia's job to look after them all, but she'll have to be careful around the wild mothers in case they lash out.
She's scared and timid, but I think she'll make someone a good pet. She is friendly and she is, accepting of people, so I think she'll be okay.
What a good girl. Hey, you're absolutely okay. No one's touching your babies.
The second mum, however, won't be as easy to handle. They've named her Midnight, but she is a feral stray with a broken front leg, which makes her very unpredictable. And Alicia thinks the kittens might have to be taken off her soon.
You want to be making sure that now they're getting human interaction, because otherwise they're not going to be friendly and they're not going to go to really good homes, purely because, people like those cuddly kittens, not the ones that are feral and don't want to have anything to do with you.
If there's one place that meeting people is guaranteed, it's Remarkable Vets. With the clinic running smoothly, Jeff has a boat to catch. A large part of the practice is now out in the field. Today, Jeff is off to the high country station, Walter Peak.
We're just off to the other side of the lake to castrate 3 colts, trim a horn off a steer and to trim some feet.
There are only a few crossings to the station each day, so Jeff has a tight schedule to keep to. At the station, he's met by Lloyd.
Today's one of those great days when you're getting out across the lake. Really enjoy that boat ride. And we're here to castrate 3 colts. We'll see how we get on. We'll start with the easy one first.
Well, this fella here, he's a Appaloosa called Spotty Bum. He's going to be gelded today, so we're going to change him from a colt to a gelding. We don't need too many stallions or colts running around here. We've already got one, and one is enough for us. So.
The colts haven't had a lot of handling, and if they bolt now, recapturing them would be very time-consuming in these large paddocks.
Woolly, man. Woolly.
Lloyd holds on tight, and Jeff manages to deliver the anaesthetic.
That's stage 1 of about 6. Ticked off.
The anaesthetic only lasts for 10 minutes. Jeff needs to work quickly. Clancy and Bluey look on, concerned their turn might be next.
All done.
Spotty's operation is a success. Now Jeff and Lloyd attempt to sedate the next energetic colt, Bluey.
He's feisty, isn't he?
Bluey's bolt saves him for now. With time against them, Jeff and Lloyd move on to the third colt, Clancy. His procedure goes off without a hitch, but there's no time left for Bluey.
2 down. We might come back another day for number 3, and I suspect will be the hardest of them all. We'll see you another day, Bluey.
Bluey's off the hook for now, but the pressure's still on Jeff. He has to race back down to the yards to finish his next job in time to catch the boat home tonight. Alicia has decided it's time for Midnight's kittens to start getting used to people, and the best way to do that is to wean them.
Had to take the kittens off her this morning, so she's got 4 beautiful little kittens here, looking, really healthy and well cared for. These kittens are so friendly. Try to sort of teach them without putting their nose in, try and pushing just the mouth in. See, he's licking the side. So the licking's there, you just need to get him sort of, it's like, watch the other one. Ah, there we go. That's better, much better, a bit more promising. Got him in the right place.
Let's hope the rest of the kittens are quick learners too. Back at Walter Peak, Sunday the steer needs a horn trim.
Yeah, that looks like it wants a bit of trimming, doesn't it? So we've got a cow here which has one horn which is overgrown and is now curling round and just about to poke into the cheek. We could just take the tip off, or we might just take it flush back. We'll see what they want to do, and then the rodeo will start.
And so it does, as the team try to separate Sunday from his female companion, Fiona. Fiona the Highland cow is lured in first, and Sunday takes the bait and obligingly follows. But Jeff doesn't have much time left and must get on with the job.
I'm actually just going to put a little bit of local round because sometimes the blood supply goes down quite a long way.
But what do you use to cut through rock-hard horn?
Well, this is an abrasive wire which we use to cut through various things, including horns. We just improvise with a set of handles. And a bit of smoke and a bit of sweat and a bit of grunt, it'll cut through nicely.
Howdy, old bugger. Hey, Aaron, do it. Well done.
It's a painless procedure.
Sunday is bandaged up and rejoins his mate Fiona, who is very curious about his new fashion accessory. But the Earnslaw is back and Jeff has to go. Trimming Fiona's toes will have to wait, as the boat won't. It's been a hectic day and Jeff finally gets a chance for a well-earned rest. Alicia's kitten weaning is in full swing, but as anticipated, the wild Midnight isn't taking it lightly.
Lovely cat. No, just a bit stressed with her babies. So just slightly took it out on me, but never mind. Oh.
But there's good news for 2 of the kittens. Alicia has found a family who are taking one for each of their identical twins. But it's not exactly love at first sight. Soon, though, the girls start to have fun with their new friends.
Is that fun?
And with that, the two kittens are part of the family and they head off to their new home.
Now, 2 days since Walnut had her experience under the bonnet of the car. She's been doing pretty well during those 2 days, but with eating and looking after herself, but these skin wounds are starting to show their true form, where the skin is dying off and the 2 broken teeth need to be removed, so we're about to embark on that today.
Walnut had a lucky escape after being trapped in the engine of a moving car, but she has several nasty injuries.
Well, this is one of the areas that was damaged and we suspect it's been burnt. Certainly the skin's dying off there. We're going to be left with a big hole, big wound, and my intention is to actually circumvent that. I'm going to go in and trim all that tissue off, and we're going to suture it back together so we get a much faster healing process and the whole thing is more comfortable for her.
The complicated operation will take at least an hour, and it will be several days before Jeff will know if it's been successful. Out in the car park, Jeff has visitors.
That one Rosie and that one Blueberry. That one is a brown face with brown leg, and that one is a Ramino.
Amanda and her dad have brought in their lambs because the boy needs to be neutered.
Blueberry's gonna get sorted out.
Amanda's been fully primed?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Docking is common for lambs, but it usually takes place on the farm.
We don't actually have to do that as a veterinary procedure that often, but it's a special case, so we make exceptions.
What happened?
The boy sheep that won't leave little lambs.
With the little fella sorted out, Jeff now has an appointment with some big boys. He has to give 60 red-blooded rams a physical. But first, he gets a classic Southern man welcome at the station.
That's bloody cold for shorts, isn't it? Are they short longs or long shorts?
These are long shorts. This is summer wear.
Jeff's checking for a disease that causes infertility, and the only way he can find out if the rams have it is to do a hands-on testicle test. And the rams aren't always so keen on Jeff's attention.
Excuse me.
As well as physically inspecting the rams, he also has to take blood from a select few.
Today we're just taking a percentage of the ram flock, so it'll be 20%, which means we get 12 samples from these guys. So it's purely a screening test.
330.
Jeff needs to keep his wits about him. He's been run over by a ram in this situation before.
He came bowling in and knocked me flat over as he jumped over to meet his friends, and after I'd sort of recovered half consciousness from that, I realised he'd fixed my back. I owed him a real favour.
One of the rams doesn't pass the testicle test.
This testicle's the same size. It hasn't shrunk away as if it's been damaged. Yeah. But there is a definite epidermal hardening there, so we'll get some blood off him too.
The blood samples will go to the lab and the results will be back in a week.
Excellent. Thanks,
All right,
mate. Okay, we'll be in touch.
Okay.
All right. Cheers.
Okay, see you later.
Back in Arrowtown, the clinic has a very unique visitor, and as always, Diesel is the first on the scene to check it out.
Hilarious, isn't it?
Bobby the Galah is a colourful native of Australia, and Diesel makes it his business to give her a friendly trans-Tasman welcome.
Bobby has a big hole under her, well, not under her wing, it's on top of her wing. She's come back today for another antibiotic injection, and just to check her progress.
Bobby was a very calm playmate for Diesel, but will she be a good patient for Jeff?
Oh no, you're best friends now.
Maybe that's good. I like that.
There's nothing wrong with the fly.
No, she's comfy enough.
Yeah, come on. I see, girl, I got you. Okay, I got you.
But Bobby's not here for a flying lesson. She has a mysterious wound on her wing that Jeff is trying to diagnose.
Good strength in that wing.
Well, she can fly around still.
Yeah, exactly. It may well be what the original theory was on the first one, that it was an abscess in the skin that had blown out. I think the big thing is it hasn't worsened overnight.
No,
that we can take heart from.
Yeah. All right then, you can go back in your house now. We'll go home.
Bobby returns to the safety of her cage, which is just as well because there's someone in reception waiting to see her. It's kitten season at the clinic, and just as the girls find homes for the first 2 litters, another 3 are added to the mix.
I just picked up this wee one and those other 2 kittens in the cage there from a hotel in town. Come on, sweeties. So we've taken them on in here, but just like this, suddenly sort of had a thought that they're too young to be completely removed from their mother. We will be having to syringe feed them. But just with this wee one we've got here, I just wondered if she would let them have a wee feed. It would be nice if they could have something from her.
This is the second wild cat, who they've named Mondo. She was completely unapproachable several days ago, but with Alicia's gentle handling, she's become very friendly. But will she accept these orphan kittens as her own?
Oh, look at that. Good mother's instinct. She's not at all worried.
Alicia's adoption idea has paid off, but this mother now has 8 mouths to feed.
Aren't you good, Mum?
Yes, you're a good mum, aren't you?
Jeff has some unfinished business at Walter Peak, so today it's back across the lake to catch up with some familiar friends. Bluey the colt proved a handful last time and avoided his castration, but the job has to be done today, so drastic measures are taken.
I wouldn't normally castrate them in the yard, so we much prefer them to have a nice green, clean, grassy paddock, but just no 2 ways around it with this one. I must admit to being a little bit nervous, a little bit anxious about Bluey, but being in the yards, confining him seems to have done the job. I don't think it could have gone any better. It's been very atraumatic for him, which is number one, and he's just about to get on his feet, so that's great. On to the next challenge.
The next challenge is half a tonne of Highland beef called Fiona.
These are some show animals at Walter Peak Farm Experience, a tourist operation, and they're Highland cattle. They don't do a lot, so their toes or their toenails have a tendency to overgrow, and I'm here today to try and trim them back to, or give them a little pedicure to make them look pretty and just functional as well.
Even sedated, these massive creatures can be trouble. So Fiona is roped and felled.
Okay, get the pressure on, That's it.
Fiona might be down, but she's not completely out, and Jeff will have to be very careful.
That pressure on the spine should actually keep it down. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
With Fiona's toenails finally trimmed, the finishing touches are added with a quick file and polish.
Once she had the ropes on and was restrained, she seemed to accept what we were doing, which was non-painful, but obviously a bit unusual for her. But no, I'm happy. She got straight up, she's out, she's walking, and that's exactly the way we'd like it.
Fiona's the darling of the paddock, and Jeff's reward? A quick drink before the boat arrives.
This is what I've been looking forward to, a bit of Walter Peak hospitality after the job's finished. I must confess to having been a little bit nervous coming over this morning with the jobs we had to do, but they've gone swimmingly well, so I'm really chuffed about that, and I'll probably look forward to doing it again in about a year, I'd say.
Back at the clinic, Fiona has found a home for 2 more stray kittens.
Which one do you want? Matt, go. Now they've got scratchy wee claws. Yeah. So you put a wee hand underneath like that.
Oh, you want me to go?
And you snuggle it into your tummy.
She's getting ugly. Why are you ripping your skin off, Elsie?
No, that's how the mum cats carry them around.
They'll climb right up.
The kittens are keen to make themselves new friends, but Jeff and the team will no doubt see these guys back again for vaccinations and spaying. And there's one final case for Jeff to look on today. This was Walnut 10 days ago. And now look at her. The risky procedure was a complete success, and she's bounded back to life. Although she won't look like her old self for a while yet.
Oh, the kids call her Frankenstein's cat.
The scars from surgery are healing well, and it's time for the stitches to come out.
Yeah, no, they look good. She's done the usual cat thing. Coming right?
Yep. Pretty quick too. I just can't believe it's been so quick.
Right, yeah. One of the beauties of cats is their elastic skin.
I was going to say, is it hard to pull it together or is it quite...
You need to have loose skins. There's no tension on the wounds.
Yeah.
But cats have got loose skin, so you can take a huge amount of skin out before you get tension.
So that's it?
That's it, yeah. Now healing done. The driveway, the most dangerous place.
Hey, we go home?